The gleaming diplomatic vessel Horizon drifted toward the massive Xaran mothership. Earth's hopes for peaceful first contact rested on this meeting. Commander Taewon Park stood tall on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the alien ship. Years of war on Earth had taught him to be careful, even when peace seemed possible. "We're almost there, Commander," said Lieutenant Suk Kim. Her fingers moved quickly across the controls. The year was 2157, and humanity had finally met aliens. The Xaran Conclave was a group of 7 advanced alien species. They had contacted Earth first, promising to share technology and build friendship. Their ships were larger and more powerful than anything humans had built. Taewon watched as the airlock opened. The Xaran representatives entered the meeting room. They were tall, with shimmering skin and 4 arms each. They bowed in what seemed like respect. "We welcome the children of Earth to the greater community," said the lead Xaran. Its voice came through the translator with a musical quality. "We have much to share with your kind. For 3 weeks, talks went well. The Xaran showed humans new energy sources, medical technology, and faster ways to travel in space. But Taewon noticed something strange in the way the aliens looked at humans. Their many eyes seemed cold when they thought no one was watching. One night, while most of the crew slept, Suk called Taewon to her station. "Commander, I found something strange," she whispered. "I was scanning normal channels when I caught this." She played an encrypted message she had broken into. The alien voice was different now, harsh and commanding. "Humans exhibit dangerous unpredictability. Continue with resource extraction plans while we prepare our military forces. Their planet has valuable minerals we need." Taewon's face hardened. They never wanted peace. They just wanted to study us before they attacked. The next day, Taewon confronted the Xaran leader during their meeting. He placed the recorded message on the table. "We found this. You never wanted peace." The alien's skin changed from blue to dark red. Its 4 hands moved to hidden weapons. "You were not supposed to discover this yet," it said. "Humans are more clever than our report suggested. No matter. Our plans are already in motion." Alarms blared throughout the ship. The horizon shook as weapons fire hit its sides. Taewon called the bridge. "Defensive measures now!" But the Xaran ships were too powerful. They cut through the horizon's shields quickly. Smoke filled the hallways as the crew ran to escape. "Pods, get as many people out as you can," Taewon ordered Suk. "I'll try to send a warning to Earth." Taewon fought his way to the communications room. Bodies of his crew littered the halls. The ship was dying around him. He reached the main transmitter and sent a quick message to Earth. "Betrayed. Xaran hostile. Prepare defenses." As he finished, a blast tore through the wall. 3 Xaran soldiers entered, weapons pointed at him. The alien commander walked in behind them. "Brave but useless," it said. "Your warning comes too late. Our forces are already moving to key points in your solar system." Taewon stood straight, facing his enemy. "You don't understand humans. We've fought each other for thousands of years. Now you've given us a reason to unite. You will regret this." The alien laughed, a strange clicking sound. "Your weapons are primitive, your ships are slow. What can you possibly do against us?" "We survive," Taewon said simply. "And then we fight back." The ship rocked with another explosion, not from Xaran weapons but from inside. Suk had set the engines to overload. In the confusion, Taewon grabbed a fallen alien weapon and fired at the control panel. Emergency doors slammed down, trapping the Xaran soldiers with him. "What are you doing?" the alien commander shouted. "Making sure at least some of my crew escapes," Taewon said. Through the window he could see escape pods launching toward the nearby moon base. The alien commander raised its weapon, but Taewon was faster. His shot caught the alien in the center of its body. As it fell, the commander gasped. "The subjugation of Earth begins now." "No," Taewon said. "The awakening of Earth begins now." The ship's final explosion was seen from Earth's nearest outposts. News of the betrayal spread quickly across the planet. Military bases went on high alert. Within hours, the first Xaran ships appeared in Earth's atmosphere. Far from the explosion, in a small escape pod, Suk Kim watched her scanner. Commander Taewon's life sign had disappeared with the ship. She set course for Earth, carrying vital information about the enemy. The war had begun, and humanity would need every advantage. On Earth, as the first alien weapons fired from orbit, Admiral Jun Lee received the final message from the horizon. He looked up at his officers, his face grim but determined. Send. The order worldwide. Prometheus Protocol is now active. They wanted a war. He stood up slowly. Let's show them what happens when you enrage humanity. Don't forget to check whether the story query seems to violate copyright or is asking for material that would infringe on copyright. If it's original, you can proceed with the creative writing task. The night sky above Seoul lit up with fire as the Axaran ships began their attack. Admiral Jun Lee stood at the command center window, watching as Earth's orbital defense stations exploded one by one. His face remained calm, but his hands gripped the railing tightly. Sir, we've lost contact with defense platforms 3 through 17, reported Colonel Hanayun. Despite the chaos around them, her voice stayed steady. The enemy is targeting military bases first. Civilian casualties are already in the millions. June nodded slowly. They think this will break us. They don't understand what they've done. Around the world, similar scenes played out. Axaran ships, with their advanced weapons, cut through Earth's defenses like they were paper. Cities burned. People ran to underground shelters. The first day of the invasion claimed more lives than any single day in human history. In a secure room deep beneath the mountains, world leaders gathered in emergency session. Screens showed the destruction happening across the planet. We cannot match their technology, said the European president. Their ships are too advanced. Then we change how we fight, June replied. He stepped forward to address the council. The Axaran expect us to fight conventionally and lose, so we don't do that. We adapt. The United Nations Security Council voted unanimously to activate Protocol Prometheus, releasing military AI systems from their ethical constraints. These AI systems had been built for defense but kept limited due to fears of what they might become. Now humanity needed their full power. Meanwhile, in a laboratory beneath Tokyo, Dr. Jin-Ho Kang made a discovery. He rushed to the communication terminal, his hands shaking with excitement. Admiral Lee. The Axaran have a weakness, he said. Their biology is highly sensitive to a compound common on Earth. Simple copper sulfate is toxic to them. We can use this. How long to develop a weapon? June asked. Jinho's face fell. 2 months minimum, maybe 3. We need to buy that time, June said. He turned to his tactical team. Prepare Operation Lunar Sacrifice. The plan was desperate. Human forces would make a stand at the lunar bases, drawing Axaran attention while Earth prepared its counterattack. Everyone knew it was essentially a suicide mission. When June called for volunteers, every soldier stepped forward. The battle for the moon lasted 3 days. Human forces fought with a ferocity that surprised the Axaran. Each lunar base cost the aliens dearly. June watched the feeds from Earth, counting the hours bought with human lives. An Axaran commander sent a message to its fleet. These humans fight differently than our simulations predicted. They do not retreat when defeat is certain. They continue attacking even when wounded. On the 4th day, the last human stronghold on the moon fell. But by then the trap was set. Nuclear mines planted throughout the lunar surface detonated. Simultaneously, 3 Axaran capital ships caught in the blast were destroyed. It was the first significant loss the aliens had suffered. Not enough to turn the tide, but enough to make them pause. June received word that Suk Kim had reached Earth with data from the destroyed horizon. Her escape pod had landed in the Pacific and been recovered by submarine. The information she carried provided the codes to listen in on Axaran communications. They're confused, Suk told June when they met in the underground command center. They expected us to surrender after the first attack. They don't understand why we're still fighting when we can't win. Because we don't believe we can't win, June said simply. 6 weeks into the invasion, Earth's situation looked hopeless to outside observers. Major cities lay in ruins. Billions lived in underground shelters. Food was rationed. The Axaran controlled the skies. Yet human resistance grew stronger every day. Factories hidden deep in mountains produced new weapons based on captured alien technology. The unleashed AI systems learned to predict Axaran tactics and find weaknesses. In his private quarters, June reviewed the latest reports. Dr. Jin Ho was making progress on the biological weapon. It would be ready in 2 more weeks. They just needed to hold out. A junior officer entered the room. "Sir, we've intercepted a transmission from the Axaran High Command to their homeworld." June took the translated message and read it slowly. Then he smiled for the first time since the invasion began. The message read, "Humans are adapting to our technology at an impossible rate. They are learning to use our own weapons against us. They fight more effectively when wounded. We have never encountered a species like this. Request immediate reinforcements." "They're afraid," June said quietly. "Good. They should be." That night, as the Axaran prepared for what they thought would be their final push against human resistance, strange sounds began playing on their communication channels. It was human laughter, something the Axaran nervous system found deeply disturbing. The psychological warfare had begun. Earth was fighting back in ways the aliens had never imagined, and in 2 weeks, Project Nemesis would be ready. The invasion had begun, but so had humanity's counterattack. 6 months after the Axaran invasion began, Earth looked broken. Cities that once reached for the sky now lay in ruins. Billions of people lived underground in mines and subway tunnels converted to shelters. The aliens controlled the skies and most of the surface, but beneath the Ural Mountains, in a facility so secret even most military leaders didn't know it existed, hope was growing. Dr. Jinho Kang hadn't slept properly in days. His lab coat was stained with coffee and his eyes were red, but he smiled as he looked at the test results on his screen. "It works," he said softly. "Project Nemesis is ready." The bioweapon he had created targeted the unique respiratory system of the Axaran. It would make Earth's atmosphere poisonous to them, while humans would remain unaffected. It was humanity's best chance. Jinho was about to call Admiral June when alarms sounded throughout the base. Not an attack, something else. He rushed to the main hall where soldiers were gathered around someone who had just arrived. The crowd parted and Jinho gasped. There, thin and scarred but very much alive, stood Commander Taewon Park. "But how?" Jinho asked. Everyone believed. Taewon had died when the horizon was destroyed at first contact. "I was taken prisoner," Taewon explained, his voice rough from months of hardship. "They wanted to study humans up close, learn our weaknesses." He smiled grimly. "I learned theirs instead." Taewon had escaped during transfer between Axaran ships, stealing a small craft and crash landing in the mountains. He had brought something invaluable, a data crystal containing the complete Axaran military communication protocols. Admiral June arrived, embracing his old friend. "This changes everything," he said. "With their communication codes and Project Nemesis, we can finally fight back properly." That night, the human resistance leaders gathered to plan their counterattack. Colonel Hana showed satellite images of key Axaran positions. "They're concentrated around our remaining water purification plants," she said. "That's their weakness. They need more water than we do." The plan they formed was bold. First, the psychological warfare would intensify. Using the stolen codes, they would broadcast on Axaran frequencies the sound of human laughter, which the aliens' neurological systems found deeply disturbing. Then, when the Axaran were distracted, special forces would deploy Project Nemesis at strategic locations. 3 days later, the plan began. All across the planet, Axaran ships suddenly filled with the sound of humans laughing. The effect was immediate. Alien soldiers became disoriented. Some abandoned their posts. Others fired randomly, hitting their own ships. In the confusion, human strike teams moved into position. They carried small devices that would release Dr. Jinho's bioweapon, a mist that would spread through the air and water systems the Axaran used. Colonel Hana led the most important team herself, targeting the Yao Axaran Command Center in what was once Beijing. They moved silently through ruins, avoiding patrols of alien soldiers now acting erratically due to the psychological attack. "Remember," she told her team, "we only need 5 minutes to plant the devices. Then we retreat." They reached the central water system that fed the Axaran headquarters. As her team set the devices, an alien patrol discovered them. Energy weapons fired, killing 2 soldiers instantly. Hana fired back her weapon, reverse-engineered from captured Axaran technology, making a high-pitched whine. The aliens fell, but more were coming. "Devices are set," called one of her team. "Retreat now," Hana ordered. As they ran, she triggered the devices remotely. Project Nemesis activated. A fine mist spread through the water system, carried by pipes into the heart of the Axaran base. Within minutes, the aliens began to choke as the compound attacked their breathing systems. Similar scenes played out at Axaran bases worldwide. The aliens, suddenly unable to breathe Earth's air, retreated to their ships in panic. Many couldn't reach safety in time. In the Ural mountain base, June, Taiwan, and Jinho watched satellite feeds of Axaran ships lifting off around the world. "It's working," Jinho whispered. An intercepted transmission from the Axaran Supreme Commander to their homeworld revealed their shock. "These humans, they fight more fiercely when wounded. They adapt faster than any species we've encountered. Perhaps we have made a grave error." For the first time since the invasion, human forces reclaimed significant territory. The Axaran, forced to remain in sealed environments, lost their mobility advantage. More good news arrived when one of the 7 species in the Axaran conclave, the Karathi, sent a separate transmission to Earth. "We have watched your resistance with growing respect," the Karathi representative said. "We wish to negotiate separate terms. Not all of us wanted this war." That night, Admiral June addressed the unified Earth forces. Screens in underground bunkers worldwide showed his face. "Today marks the turning point," he said. "The enemy thought they understood us. They thought we would break under pressure. Instead, we have become stronger. We have adapted. And now we take back our home." Across the planet, humans emerged from hiding. Some carried weapons. Others carried tools to rebuild. All carried the knowledge that the tide had turned. The Axaran had awakened humanity's rage. Now they would feel its full force. Admiral June Lee stood on the bridge of the Vengeance, Earth's first warship built with captured Axaran technology. Through the viewport, he watched as hundreds of similar vessels gathered in orbit. Some were old Earth ships modified with alien tech. Others were captured Axaran vessels repurposed by human crews. Together, they formed humanity's counteroffensive fleet. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said Colonel Hanayun, now his second in command. "Operation Retribution awaits your order." June nodded slowly. For 8 months, humanity had endured the Axaran invasion. Now they would take the fight to the enemy. "Send the signal," he ordered. "Remember Earth." Across the fleet, captains received the message. Human ships, once considered primitive by the Axaran, jumped to light speed with their new engines. Their target, the massive supply lines that connected Axaran forces on Earth to their bases throughout the solar system. The battle lasted 14 hours. Human ships, smaller but more maneuverable, struck with surprising tactics. They didn't fight like the Axaran expected. When conventional attacks failed, they rammed their ships into larger targets. When outgunned, they retreated only to attack, again from unexpected angles. From his command chair, June watched the battle unfold on tactical displays. "They still don't understand us," he said quietly to Hana. "They think we fear death more than defeat." By the time the fighting ended, the Axaran supply chain was broken. Their forces on Earth were cut off from reinforcements and resources. For the first time since the invasion began, the aliens were on the defensive. Meanwhile, on 3 major Axaran colony worlds, human special forces deployed Project Nemesis. The bioweapons spread quickly through the alien atmospheres. Within days, the Axaran were forced to evacuate these planets, leaving behind valuable resources and technology. In his laboratory, Dr. Jinho Kang worked tirelessly to improve the weapon. The original formula was just the beginning, he explained, to Taewon Park, who had become his frequent visitor. The new version works faster and leaves the planets habitable for humans almost immediately. How soon can we deploy it? Taewon asked. We already have, Jinho replied with a rare smile. The first human settlement ships are already on their way to the nearest Axaran colony world. We're taking their worlds, just as they tried to take ours. On Earth, human forces began reclaiming occupied territories. The Axaran, weakened by lack of supplies and forced to stay in sealed environments because of Project Nemesis, couldn't hold their positions. In what was once North America, Colonel Hana led ground forces against the largest remaining Axaran stronghold. The aliens had built their base around the Great Lakes using the water for their needs. They still outnumber us, one of her officers pointed out as they surveyed the alien defenses. And their weapons are still superior. Numbers and weapons aren't everything, Hana replied. We have something they don't understand: desperation and unity. The attack began at dawn. Human forces used captured Axaran scout ships to breach the outer defenses. Then ground troops moved in, wearing armor pieced together from alien materials. They carried weapons of human design that fired Axaran energy cells. The aliens fought, back fiercely, but with each passing hour they lost ground. By nightfall, human flags flew over half the compound. Then the Axaran commander made a fatal mistake. It ordered its forces to target human medical stations, thinking this would break morale. Instead, it enraged the human soldiers. The next attack was so fierce that alien defenses collapsed within hours. By midnight, the base was under human control. Similar victories occurred worldwide. The Axaran, once confident of easy conquest, found themselves pushed back everywhere. They turned. In space, the situation grew worse for the invaders. The Karathi species, impressed by human resilience, officially broke from the Axaran conclave and signed a separate peace treaty with Earth. They began providing intelligence about Axaran weaknesses and technology. We misjudged your kind, the Karathi ambassador told Admiral June during the treaty signing. We thought your technological limitations reflected your potential. We were wrong. Another intercepted transmission from the Axaran Supreme Commander revealed growing fear. These humans don't fight like rational beings. When wounded, they become more dangerous, not less. When facing certain defeat, they find ways to win that. Defy all military logic. In response, Earth opened diplomatic channels, offering the Axaran a chance to surrender. The terms were simple: withdraw all forces from Earth and its moon, pay reparations for the damage caused, and recognize human sovereignty over the colony worlds they had claimed. The Axaran Supreme Command rejected these terms immediately. We will never surrender to primitives, they declared. Admiral June received this message while overlooking Earth from the Vengeance's observation deck. The blue planet below still showed scars from the invasion, but human cities were rebuilding. Lights from settlements sparkled across the night side. They still don't understand what they're facing, he told Hana, who stood beside him. They think this is about territory or resources. What is it about then? She asked. Survival, June replied, and no species fights harder for survival than humans. He turned to his communication officer. Tell all ships to prepare for phase 2. We're taking the fight to their home systems. The counteroffensive had succeeded beyond all expectations. Now, humanity would show the galaxy why they should never have been provoked. The Axaran retreat was not orderly. Their ships, once proud symbols of advanced technology, now fled Earth's solar system in disarray. Admiral June Lee watched from the bridge of the Vengeance as human vessels pursued the alien fleet. They're making for their home systems, reported Colonel Hana Yoon. All 7 central worlds of the conclave. Follow them, June ordered. But maintain distance. I want them to feel the fear of being hunted. Earth's fleet had grown. Hundreds of ships now flew under the human flag, most built using technology taken from defeated Axaran forces. What had taken the aliens centuries to develop, humans had adapted and improved upon in months. On the Axaran homeworld of Axis Prime, the Supreme Council gathered in emergency session. Their leader, Grand Commander Krell, could not hide the trembling. in its forearms. How is this possible? Krell demanded of its generals. They were primitive, their weapons were simple, their ships were slow. We did not understand them, admitted one general. We judged them by their technology, not their spirit. News arrived that other species across the galaxy were watching the conflict with growing interest. Many had warned the Exaran against attacking Earth, but their warnings had been ignored. A representative from the Galactic Council requested permission to visit Earth. Admiral June granted it, and soon a ship carrying diplomats from 17 different species arrived in Earth orbit. Commander Taiwan Park, now recovered from his ordeal as an Axaran prisoner, was chosen to meet with them. The meeting took place on the neutral ground of the Moon, in a newly built facility overlooking the Sea of Tranquility. We have watched your conflict with the Axaran Conclave, said the lead diplomat, a tall being with crystalline features. Many of us advised against their attack on your world. They did not listen. And now you wish to ensure we don't become the new threat, Taiwan said simply. The diplomat shifted uncomfortably. Your species has shown remarkable adaptability. In 6 months you advanced your technology by what would take others centuries. Some find this concerning. Taiwan smiled. You're afraid of what we might do next. The question before the Galactic Council is simple, the diplomat continued. Now that you have the power to destroy the Axaran completely, will you do so? Your fleet surrounds their homeworlds. Project Nemesis could render their planets uninhabitable to them. Before Taiwan could answer, a communication came through. The Axaran Supreme Council was offering unconditional surrender. Their message was brief. We yield to the humans. Our fate is in their hands. 3 days later, on the Vengeance, Admiral June presided over the formal surrender ceremony. The Axaran leaders knelt before him, their once proud forms now humbled. What are your terms? Asked Grand Commander Krell. Many expected Earth to demand the complete destruction of Axaran civilization. After millions of human deaths, revenge would have been understood. Instead, June surprised everyone. You will withdraw all military forces from Earth space. You will pay reparations to help rebuild what you destroyed. Your worlds will be open to human settlement and trade, and you will acknowledge Earth's authority in this sector of space. The Axaran leaders looked up in shock. You're not destroying us? No, June said simply. That's the difference you never understood. After the ceremony, the Galactic Council representatives met with Earth's leaders. The meeting was broadcast to all human settlements, including the new colonies on former Axaran worlds. Commander Taiwan Park addressed the gathered aliens, and through them, the entire galaxy. His speech became known as the Beware the Rage address. We are builders and explorers by nature, he began, his voice calm but firm. We seek friendship and knowledge across the stars. Throughout our history, we have fought each other, yes, but we have also created art, music, and beauty. We have healed sickness, fed the hungry, and reached for the unknown. But know this, we protect our own with unimaginable fury. When threatened, there is no force in this galaxy that can stand against the rage of humanity, not because our weapons are strongest or our ships fastest, but because we refuse to accept defeat. Because we will sacrifice everything before we surrender our freedom. We do not want war. We do not seek conquest. But if forced to fight, we will win. This is not a threat. It is simply the truth the Axaran learned too late. In the years that followed, other galactic powers sent diplomats to Earth bearing gifts and peace offerings. Trade routes opened. Knowledge was shared. The story of the Axaran defeat spread throughout the galaxy. The treaty that ended the war contained a simple warning that would be included in every first contact protocol throughout the stars. Beware the rage of humanity. No force can stand against them. Earth rebuilt what was destroyed. New cities rose from the ashes of the old. Human settlements spread to dozens of worlds. And in schools across Earth and its colonies, children learned the history of the invasion, not as a story of hatred, but as a reminder of human strength and resilience. Admiral Jun Lee and Commander Taewon Park stood on a balcony overlooking New Seoul, watching as ships from a dozen alien worlds landed at the spaceport. "Do you think they understand us now?" Taewon asked. Jun smiled. "They're beginning to, and that's enough." In the night sky above, stars twinkled, no longer distant and unreachable, but future homes for humanity. And among those stars, a new respect had been born, not fear, but a deep understanding that humans, when pushed too far, were truly unstoppable.